Welcome back once again to our dear listeners. This is episode 27 of Vaesen Behind the Masks. We're joined once again by Sharon, Jim, and Blake, who have had a very interesting breakfast with a
Much to
side
reflect upon.
Much to reflect upon. Exactly. The puns are still rolling. I love it. So, Agatha's cleaned up the mess. Artemis is having a big wallop of something strong. But you saved her from being dragged into this mirror that used to be in Lady Adelaide's bedroom.
Yep. And we've got it in 2 sacks, one in the garden, one in the cellar.
Yep. So
solid plan.
In theory, may not be able to come back. Whatever was on the other side may not be able to come back through. You also have a ship to identify, catch, and do a little bit of high seas piracy on in a limited time frame. And you have to go and solve the mystery of La Nero. So to say your hands are full is a bit of an understatement.
Yeah, first thing, Bennett's just sort of now like physically past checking just that Artemis is like mentally okay, you know, are you all right? If she feels comfortable, what did she see? What happened? She's talking.
Yeah, she's shaken. She's
Shattered.
Yeah, it's been that sort of day. She's shaken. She's drinking some grappa just to help fortify her nerves. I was dusting the mirror. Dr. Bennett needed a dust. I was just cleaning it, and this hand just reached out and grabbed my wrist, and that's when I screamed. But I felt it was trying to pull me in.
Yes. No. Unfortunately, in doing your duties of the house, I believe you were the unintended victim of a monstrous and cowardly attack. Seems there were many things about Lady Adelaide that we never got the chance to discover, and that she had clearly made some enemies. Is there anything else of hers in the house? Probably.
No, everything else she came with her, she took. It was just this mirror was simply too big. I have to thank Severino. He saved me because I was about to lose my grip.
Yes, he was always one for quick thinking. An advantage that I don't share, but I can recognize. Yes, I think you should take the day to rest. No more chores, no more. Just rest, recover. Perhaps Vittorio could take care of you for the day.
Thank you, Doctor. I will. No, I will take your wise words of advice.
But if you're okay and you'll excuse me, I have to make my way to the hospital.
Yes. Do what you need to do.
I'll come in from the garden while I bury the sack of mirror shards. Well, one of the sacks.
Just one of those classic sentences.
Right.
Back from the garden where I buried the sack of mirror shards.
Yep. I'm going to go to the docks and have a wander around.
Okay.
Agatha will join you because she's going to inquire about passage to England.
Yep. Chat to the, what do you call it, harbour master.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Nice. Let's do the port stuff first. I need to brace myself before I do Bennett Senior.
Tell me about it.
You could just go to the hospital and not talk to your dad, you know.
Yeah, it's true. I haven't decided exactly what to do yet.
All right. Well, you can have some time to decide, and we'll go down to the harbour. Venice does actually have a harbour. See the Arsenale, which is the naval base that's there. And that's pretty much only where the big ships come in. All the other ships around Venice, all little small punts or gondolas. So yeah, the big ships will all be up in that one section there. So finding the harbour master's office, not difficult.
I'll, stand behind Agatha, pretend I'm the manservant, etc. as usual.
Okay. All right, Agatha. Yeah. So top end of the docks, or the docks in front of you. There's a stone building, and it's kind of working as the gatekeeper for access to the docks.
So she'll approach whoever is manning the station.
Yeah, so you got a young, pimply-faced little 18-year-old.
Good morning, young man.
Buongiorno, signora. How can I help?
Perhaps you can assist me. Do you happen to know any ships that are leaving for England within the next few days? I wish to return home.
See, signora, I'll just check the passenger lists. Spectre. And he pulls out a leather-covered book, and you can see him flicking through pages as he's trying to go through the incoming ships list. He goes, there's actually one in dock now. It's due to leave tomorrow at noon.
Is he going to London or like Southampton, Gloucester?
This one's going to London.
Hmm.
Most ships go to London. Not many go elsewhere. London, and then from there they go wherever they need to go. Is that where you wanted to go, ma'am?
Aye. London is the hub. From there, I can get anywhere in England. So that is tomorrow. That would be the 23rd?
Si, signora. At noon, it's departing. The Lady Robert.
The Lady Robert. Okay, and do you know whom with the master of the ship, or whom I might inquire as to passage?
You don't usually speak to the captain. The purser usually looks after the passengers. His name's Reginald Smith. He'll be able to answer any queries you may have, signora.
Thank you kindly. And it's just through here then?
See, be mindful because the docks are busy. They're unloading things.
Of course, young man.
Second gangway to your left.
Thank you kindly.
And he gives you a big goofy smile. His little weedy chest puffs up. Yeah. I did good today.
You know, she'll slip him a coin. And yeah, it looks like going to have a chance to do a little bit of a reconnaissance. I'm going to speak to the purser, Severino, if you would.
Yeah. I'll follow along. We'll make it look like we're going to check out the ship to make sure it's seaworthy for the good lady and all that sort of stuff.
Pick the tires.
Yeah, so go and flag down one of the sailors, I assume, and go, good morning, young man. I wish to speak to Mr. Smith regarding passage. Can you please fetch him for me?
He gives you a bit of a squinty. And he's like, Smith? There's 5 of them on this ship. But I think you want Reginald Smith, yeah?
Well, if he's the one to whom organises passage.
I'll get him. And he troops up to the top of the gangway. He calls down, Oi, Reggie! Lady for ya! And then he bustles off to his work. And a minute later, this gentleman comes up from the deck, and he's all dressed in proper attire you'd expect for a ship's officer. Black press pants, white shirt, black tie, blazer with banding on his wrists. And he walks down the gangplank. Oh, man.
Miss Hartwell, dear.
How can I help you?
I am hoping hoping that you can accommodate my need for a passage back to England as a matter of expedient for myself and my manservant here.
You're going to book passage? You got to understand, this is more cargo ship than passenger ship. If you're looking for top quality quarters, we don't have them, but we have serviceable quarters available.
I am afraid it is more a matter of expedience than it is comfort at this point in time. There's family matters, I'm afraid, that I must return to England before my dear father departs.
I'm sorry to hear that. Yes, if you're happy to accommodate a slightly more austere service than what you would be accustomed to, yes, we would be able to take you.
Is this actually on the ship or like on the dock next to the ship?
This is on the dock next to the ship.
Could I perhaps have a look to see what kind of comforts I will need to bring? Just, I mean, it is a lengthy journey.
Do you want to give him manipulation? I just want to see if his bullshit meter goes off.
Of course it does.
Woohoo! One.
Oh, I'm rolling really well for me.
You are rolling really well. Yes, ma'am. Please follow me. And he'll bring you. He'll bring you up the gangway. And
Going to do her best, slightly frail impersonation.
just to go a bit slower to give Sevenina more time.
Yes, and to really sell that she's going to need some comforts, so she needs to examine
Yeah.
the accommodations.
No, that's fine. You go through with your charade brilliantly. He'll take you through several corridors. He'll apologize profusely that you have to go down a flight of stairs. And then he'll take you to this small little pokey stateroom. And it is pokey. It's literally just a bed, a bedside table, bathroom. Bathroom is it's a little closet to the side. It's not very
The chamber.
nice. It's a chamber pot. Water comes from a ewer and a wash basin. And that is it. And Severino, your quarters, dear God. It's literally, you're in a closet with a hammock.
Yeah, that's all right. Is it just ship's crew on, or is it like obviously a platoon of soldiers stationed on the ship, or?
Just ship's crew. They're in the middle of
Okay.
loading and unloading at this time.
Good. Okay.
And the person will say there's only one other passenger that they're taking with them. The rest of it's all cargo.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, I do see that this will be quite suitable. I do worry though about perhaps the noise. Forgive an old woman, but is the crew and the cargo close to these staterooms?
The cargo's 2 floors below, and the crew. This is the crew deck, although they're further towards the aft of the ship.
And the captain? You must think me a silly old woman, but
The captain's actually just further down the corridor.
And you said there was a second passenger.
Yes, they're opposite you. So basically, you're in a central corridor. It's one stateroom, another stateroom, officer rooms, and then crews.
She's trying to sticky beak and scope out where perhaps this reliquary might be, because it's yeah, and how one would go about getting there, and whether the other passenger might perhaps be associated with the reliquary.
Is there a lifeboat?
I'm going to say no. I don't think they would have had lifeboats back in those days. I could
Sweet.
be wrong.
Okay.
Actually, Not lifeboats like we know it. There might only be one or two.
Yeah, there would have been a launch.
Exactly.
Description.
Versus lifeboats and divots now.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
just if we get stuck on the boat, we may need an escape vehicle. Or we can just write a note to Bennett now and say, have fun with everything. We're off to England.
So, and the ship will leave
Tomorrow at 12 noon.
at 12 noon. Thank you kindly, and I only have a small amount of coin on me now, but I shall pay you a deposit and return on the morrow with the rest of my fare and my things.
Absolutely. Come with me and I'll take your details. And he'll escort you up to the purser's office. So it's the next level up where you've got all the officers for the ship. Take you to this little pokey purser's room. Behind him is a big ass safe. But then he's got his desk, he's got his book, and he's like, okay, may I have your details, please, madame?
Yeah, she will give, her name, her actual name, but she's going to give her Florence address instead of the villa, just in case.
Just in case. Yep.
Um,
And he'll take your money as a deposit.
Worth it to have another reason to be on the ship tomorrow.
Mm.
And she will thank him profusely and say, well, Severino, we have some packing to do.
Yes.
Back when I'll strange you without a hitch.
I'll soil everything else this session, I'm sure.
Here comes the hitch.
Yeah. Dr. Hitch reporting for duty.
Not quite. Hold that thought.
I guess when we're on the docks, look at, potential avenues to run if we have to run away or whatever. So
Yeah, it's okay. You're walking to the whole dock area. You're flagging all these alleys and
yeah.
escape avenues. As you walk past a particularly dark and pokey alleyway, as Agatha walks past it, you're behind her. You hear a little feminine giggle, and then a couple of lads lurch out from the alleyway. They've got a bottle of wine in one hand, their collars are all disarrayed, their shirts are unbuttoned. You suspect their pants are partly unbuttoned, and they're laughing and talking in German, and they turn around and they see you. I don't know German.
No, yeah. No, Severino definitely does. Well, Austrian, German.
That's exactly what they're speaking.
Yeah, I'll say there's, a good time 2 streets away.
Dankeschön, Herr. Dankeschön.
Yeah, I'll wave goodbye. Tschüss. And, hurry to catch up with the mistress.
Yeah, so that little interaction, luckily for you, goes smooth. But you learn one thing that's really interesting. The Austrians are in town.
Yeah, fantastic.
The Vanguard. And you get to leave the docks without any further accostation. All right, Bennett. I'm ready for you.
Yep. Straight to the front. Here to see Dr. Bennett.
The matron looks at you. Oh, Dr. Bennett, I haven't seen you for a few days. Yes, please, follow me. And she does not give you any of the hard, cold shoulder that she gave you before. She knows you now. She's worked with your father now for, 2-3 weeks? So obviously some of that esteem is rubbed off on you. So you now get a golden pass.
Yeah, it is a change of opinion that Bennett is quite used to observing over time as people realize who he is.
I bet. And she'll escort you through the hospital down to the morgue, all the while she's chattering away merrily and quite frankly, like, this isn't there's no guarding here. She's talking to you like a medical professional, and yeah, she'll bring you to the morgue where your father's been working, and by all means, doctor, he's in there. Probably in the office, actually.
Thank you. No, I'll head to the office and knock.
And you hear the voice that you know and love. Come in.
Oh, I'll step in. Morning, father.
Ah, Theodore. He's puffing on his pipe, and he one last suck and then puts the pipe down on the desk. His desk is cluttered with books, and there's papers and pens. Kind of reminds you of the way you work as well.
Yeah, and I think Bennett doesn't sit, but he can't help but sort of like hover near some notes and just sort of like not really trying to analyze them, just idly thumbing at them. How goes your research?
It's been slow. This one's, I hate to admit it, thus far it's defeating me. I will figure it out, boy. You watch. I will figure it out. And it's just a little bit more complex than I initially presumed.
You have my utmost confidence. I've actually, I believe I may have found a lead myself. Are you aware of, I'm sure we learned the real name of it, but the Plague Island?
The Lazzaro Vecchio?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, from a historical background, yes.
So I was led there on some recommendation. It was quite the experience, but as part of it, I found evidence that suggests that there have been people on the island more recently, sort of in time with the rise of incidents of this plague in the city.
So your hypothesis is they brought the plague back with them?
Yes. There were many markers, locations that I believe could very well have festered and continued to hold on to the plague all these years. And someone without our medical training may very well have accidentally brought it back with them.
It's a theory, boy, but it's a shaky one.
Can I just ask, was he actually asked by like the head of Venice to come over and like deal with it? Well, you can ask your dad to like, hey, have ships been checked to, you know, not spread, and like get like an official reason to quarantine them or something.
Well, yeah, so that's sort of kind of somewhat where I'm heading. It is a shaky lead, and it may come to nothing, but fortunately I'm only wasting my time and not yours, at least for this one request. I have concerns that the people that went to that island may have brought more than just the plague with themselves. There were clear signs of looting and some baubles that may have been maybe of some value to some theologian or some foolish collector.
What do you want about, boy?
I'm worried that they're planning to take it by ship to England.
When did you become a crusader of baubles?
Well, my clinic is slow to get to full time, so I do find myself with a little bit of extra time for extracurricular, and I knew this was of interest to you, and it is of interest to me as well. So I followed a few leads. Anyway, again, it may come to nothing, but I was wondering if, seeming as you have the ear of the city itself, if you could provide me with some documentation to allow me to search a particular ship.
Absolutely not. You would ask me to jeopardize my name and standing here to facilitate you getting onto a ship to search it for some baubles? You're a doctor, Theodore, not a treasure hunter.
I have no interest in the treasures. It is that they may be carrying the plague to our homeland, father, and it is my name as well that I would be risking.
He gives you that little eye, and you can see the argument has some merit, and you can see him wavering, but god damn, is he a stubborn old bastard. He's not going to give it to you that easy. There's been no incidents of this plague on a ship, and it's not spreading the way a plague has traditionally spread. How sure are you that that ship has something on it that has the plague? And don't play with words.
Well, I was sure enough to come here and risk making a fool of myself in front of you. There is nothing I would be hesitant to risk more than your respect, so perhaps that gives you an insight into my confidence in us.
He gives you a little humph. And he picks up the pipe again and takes a good long drag out of it. I'll give you a pass for 24 hours and 24 hours only. The city of Venice does not appreciate us overstepping our bounds and interfering with their shipping. It's costly to the whole city. So, boy, you better be right. You better find the evidence. I am putting a modicum of faith in your abilities.
Father, and then he's gonna turn basically at that point.
He'll look at you without taking his eyes off you. He gets a piece of paper and he scribbles his signature on it, pulls it off the pad and hands it to you. 24 hours, Theodore. Do not make a mistake with this. And good luck.
Thank you. And then he just takes the paper and turns and walks out.
Oh my god, you actually got the old man to crack slightly. That's with those puppy dog eyes. Cool. You have your quarantine notification.
Yep.
You-
And there's almost no way I come up with any kind of evidence out of this. So
You don't have to find evidence. You just have to go on and have a look. And if you don't find anything, oh, well, you've still done your duty.
you don't know my father. That's not good enough. A lack of a positive does not not cut it. But yeah, I mean like, yeah, Bennett is immediately like kind of terrified of what he has said and what he's sort of signed himself up for with this. But
You wanted an authentic piece of paper. You got
Yeah.
your authentic piece of paper.
and what Bennett's telling himself is, no matter what happens, if he's right, this will stop the plague.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not he'll have any be able to prove that in any meaningful way to his father is a whole other matter.
Yep.
But yeah, I think Bennett will be heading back to the villa with this.
I think it's just before lunch by the time you get there.
All right, before we get back to the villa, I'll say to Agatha, now we've got a bit of a chance to chat. The reason I need the holy water is because when I was younger, I thought I had an encounter with a Vaesen of some description. As time's gone on, I found out a little bit more information, and it's some sort of demon that is hunting me. Thus, the holy water might save my life.
Well, certainly do not do things by half, Severino.
No, you've always acted in good faith to the community and to Vaesen in general, so I trust you. and there's not many people I've talked to about this because I would rather keep people safe.
Well then, we shall visit the local parish on the way home. I'm sure that the father there will be very understanding.
I'll let you do the talking.
To get holy water, not a problem at all. I won't even make you do it.
No.
It's so ridiculously easy over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They hand it out like in little bottles with saints and pictures on them,
Yeah.
and yeah.
If it makes you feel better, he'll sit in the church and pray for a while, because hell, it's not going to hurt.
Yeah, and to be honest, you could probably take a bucket of water to the Catholic priest and they'd bless it for you.
Correct.
They're just
No, not a problem at all. So you can get a bottle or two of holy water.
So do we all reconvene, or
To be. Unless you two have got
maybe
anything else.
stop and talk and just have a chat to the local gossips again. Asking about, any more sightings of the black man, the plague doctor, and
Give me a vigilance on their behalf. Let's see if they've seen anything.
I'll just keep an eye out while she's chatting away.
One success. No, there's not been any sightings of the black man. Not the last couple nights, but I do note that there's people out on the streets a little bit more. And you would know that's the Benedumpty doing their patrols, just disrupting the black man enough. He hasn't been able to score for a couple of days.
yeah.
Poor fella.
Poor fella is getting annoyed now.
So that also means there hasn't been any new cases of plague. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, we cured. Woohoo! Also, given it is the height of winter, there's not a lot of people loitering around in the streets as much. So there's less victims to be had, if that makes sense.
Mm.
So it kind of makes sense for it to be slowing down a wee bit.
Cool. Yes. Stop by the butcher and obtain a few chickens and perhaps some pig trotters. Well, pig leg ham hocks. That's the word.
Too big for ham bones. But maybe things like quail, like chicken and quails.
Yeah.
You will.
A variety of poultry. We're
Yeah.
organising Christmas dinner.
Yeah. And we'll get some sausages and stuff that we're actually going to eat as well to make it look a bit less sus.
Well, no, we'll eat them. Yeah.
You just skip the bones.
Eat the fowl. This
Jolly
is
good.
also going to be like,
Yeah.
dinner
You
for
got-
the next few nights.
Keto diet before there was a keto diet. Yes, so you go and procure your various meats happily enough. Severino, it's quite heavy, so you can carry them. Yeah. And you arrive back at the villa at lunch.
Yes, and hopefully Artemisia is taking it easy. So
She is.
so Agatha will go shove a bird or two in the oven.
Does Agatha know how to... Yes, you would know how to cook.
Yes.
Yes, you would. So yes, you go and take over some prep duties in about an hour or so. Birds in the oven. Another hour will be ready to eat. So it'll be a late lunch for you, but that's okay. You have got some planning to do, perhaps, or you're happy with the plans in play?
well, yeah, Bennett would sort of reconvene at some point and sort of say, how did it go?
Well,
So there's one ship heading tomorrow or something?
yes. The ship, we believe, leaves at noon tomorrow. I have tentatively booked passage on it for myself and my servant here. So, good doctor, if you could work out how to detain it before it leaves, that would be much appreciated.
that I've accomplished at some cost. Do you know if the merchandise, so to speak, is already on board?
Not that we saw. We had a good look around. There's no like extra guards on the ship. It's just a normal ship's crew. If it's on board, it'll be down in the hull already. But I'm thinking something that valuable they're going to put on at the last minute to, they're not just going to have it sitting there unguarded. That, yeah.
Yes, Doctor, I think that we should perhaps ask the girls on the docks to keep an eye out for any deliveries to the ship this evening and tomorrow morning.
Well, if Severino is right, and that it'll be most likely brought very close to the time when it's going to leave, we should be able to see that coming, basically. Because as of tomorrow morning, I will be waiting, basically, nearby until it's put on board. And that is when I shall strike, so to speak.
And in an effort to assist with that plan, Doctor, I think I shall go pack some rather large and heavy bags.
Excellent.
So Agatha is going to literally put what equates to bricks in a whole bunch of luggage and she'll hire some young men in the morning to take it and create a massive kerfuffle at the same time as everything else is arriving just to...
Yeah.
Wait, should we put like a bunch of lamp oil in them? And then if we need a large diversion, we could set them off.
I don't know.
We haven't blown anything up all session. Come on.
Oh, sure. Why? We'll just put, jars of olive oil and things, flammable things in there.
Yep.
Perhaps we need a way for you to communicate to me if now is the moment I should go. This is the other thing I'm thinking. Like, for example, if in the morning it's found out that it's already on board, I need a gesture. Or if you see it being
whoever
boarded.
sees it needs to let you know, because you're the one that needs to
Yes.
stop it and inspect it and stuff.
So Agatha will reach in and pull out a very, very large white handkerchief.
It's her bloom. No.
Right. So when you dust your breeches out the window, I'll know.
Will you be able to see this from a distance, Doctor?
I don't know how to respond to that. But I think I should manage.
It's a handkerchief. It's a handkerchief. It's not a bloom. It's a handkerchief.
I shan't even need my bifocals. All right. Okay, so the last piece is how do we... Because now, Severino, you are a passenger on board. So how do we do the switch?
Well,
Am I doing it?
we don't need to rock up officially until right before they're about to take off.
Yes.
So before then, I can visit the docks a couple of times to keep an eye out as well, so it's not just the prostitutes looking for us.
And Agatha will have a hat box with the bones in it.
A mug is more than big enough.
Yeah.
It's only hand bones. It doesn't take up much space.
But the things that the women are going to be carrying is and won't be
True.
searched would be a hat box with a very ugly bonnet in it.
Yep.
And a false bottom. Yep.
A
little bit of
Give her that.
crafting. So if any male opens it, they're going to see the most ugliest hat known to man, and what they will do once they see that,
bird in it.
they will go, yeah, no.
No, that's cool.
No. I think that's a plan.
I think it's a plan too. And you know what? I think that's a good time to end it. And next week, we'll see how this heist goes.
Bum, 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 bum,
All
All
right, Mission Impossible fans. No, thank you once again for listening in to Vaesen Beneath the Masks. Hope everyone's enjoying it. Thank you once again to Blake, Jim, and Sharon, and we'll see you next session for the heist to end all heists. Or the heist to end us. I don't know.
Yeah.
See ya. What does it all mean?
And now you've got 2 weeks to come up with ways to water any of our plans.